When it comes to money between friends and family, things can get, well, they can get complicated. Today, we're going to dive into a platform called TrustLedger that's trying to change all of that, turning those awkward IOUs into really clear, simple agreements. I mean, let's be honest, who hasn't? It always starts with a simple request, right? And a promise to pay it back. But without any kind of record, that promise can kind of get fuzzy, leading to stress and, it can really strain relationships. It's a situation we've all been in, and it's been crying out for a modern solution. And this just nails the core problem perfectly. On one hand, you've got the verbal promise. It's vague, it's awkward to bring up again, and let's face it, it's super easy for people to forget the details. But on the other hand, you have the digital agreement. It's clear, it's recorded, and everybody involved has agreed to the exact same terms. It's all about just taking that uncertainty out of the equation. So, how do you make these agreements official without it feeling all cold and corporate? Well, TrustLedger's answer is what they're calling a digital handshake. It's this idea of making the trust formal, but keeping that personal connection right at the heart of the whole thing. This right here is their mission statement, really, to create a digital space just for these kinds of peer-to-peer financial agreements. And the goal isn't just about tracking the money. It's about building a real, verifiable history of trust between people and making sure everyone feels protected in the process. I just love this metaphor. A handshake. It signifies an agreement, a promise. This is just the 21st century version of that exact thing. It's not about being suspicious or not trusting someone. It's about giving everyone a clear, simple way to honor their word. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's get into it. The platform breaks it all down into a really simple and honestly pretty elegant 4-step process. All right, check this out. First up, you create an account with your mobile number. Super simple. Second, you draft the agreement, the amount, the repayment schedule, and everyone who's involved, like the lender, the borrower, maybe even a witness or two. Third, and this part is absolutely crucial, everyone seals the agreement from their own device, so it's all consent-based. And finally, you track the repayments right there on the platform until the agreement is officially closed out. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Completing these agreements does more than just settle a debt. It actually builds something tangible, something powerful, a financial trust score. And this is where the platform starts to feel truly innovative. So it's officially called the RAR Reliability Index, or RRI for short. You can think of it like a credit score, but instead of tracking your relationship with banks, it's actually tracking the promises you make to the people you know. And the key here is that the RRI isn't just some random number. It's a verified score based entirely on your actions on the platform, how you handle your agreements and honor your financial commitments. It basically turns your reputation for being reliable into something you can actually prove. And here's what that might look like in practice. A high score, say 920, instantly tells someone that you have a solid history of keeping your word. In a world where we're interacting more and more with people we've never met face-to-face, a score like this, wow, it could become incredibly valuable, maybe even opening up new opportunities for trust and collaboration down the line. So let's talk about the foundation of all this. For any system that deals with money and trust, it has to be built on a couple of key principles, right? It has to have absolute transparency and just rock-solid security. And that transparency, it extends directly to their pricing. Registering and recording transactions are totally free. The only time you pay anything is a small 50 rupee fee when you create a formal paperless agreement with 3 parties. They make it crystal clear, no hidden charges ever. This commitment to being open and secure is really what makes the whole system tick. So let's take a quick look at the specific features that actually make that happen. First off, it's completely digital, so no physical paperwork to lose or to argue over later. Everything is stored securely, and it's accessible to everybody involved, which is a huge step up from a forgotten text message or a handshake deal. Second, they use something called SHA 256 cryptographic sealing. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but here's all you need to know. It means each agreement is locked with a unique digital fingerprint that is basically impossible to tamper with. Think of it as the modern version of a notary's seal, making sure your agreement has total integrity. And finally, like we touched on before, but it's so important, it's worth repeating, every single person involved has to review and seal the agreement from their own device. This makes sure there's no pressure and that everyone is giving their full independent consent to the terms. So, what does this all boil down to for you? Well, it means you get real clarity in your personal financial dealings. It means you have a secure, permanent record of the promises you've made and the ones you've kept. It offers a pretty unique way to build a reputation for being trustworthy that you can actually verify. And maybe most importantly, it gives you real protection from all those misunderstandings and forgotten debts that can really damage even the strongest relationships. Which kind of leaves us with this one final thought. In an increasingly digital world where so many of our interactions are online, how do we actually prove our word is good? A platform like this suggests that the answer might just be found in the data of the promises we keep.